Hey, what's up everybody? It is Simon, and we are here with day 2 of how to make a sourdough starter. So, if you haven't seen the day 1 video from yesterday, make sure you go check it out. I'll link it up here. I might be just pointing at my light. Hopefully the link actually works. If not, it's gonna be super embarrassing, and it'll just be like down in the comments area, like the more information. Whatever. I promised a short video, so that's what you're gonna get. Again, it is super late here, so got my tea. And day 2 is super easy. It's super quick. I do want to show you kind of what you should be seeing after day 1, and that's gonna be not much. Your starter is pretty much gonna look exactly the same. There might be some liquid in there. That's okay, don't worry about it. You're gonna mix that in. You might see some crusty stuff on top. That's okay too. You're gonna mix it in. Again, the tough stuff on top, and that there'd be a little liquid. It worried me at first. Now I know it's completely normal. So don't worry about it. You're gonna mix it in, okay? With that being said, first thing we are gonna do is just mix it up a little bit, okay? So get all of the liquidy stuff mixed in. Get all the harder stuff mixed in, okay? And with that, we are going to measure out what I already have pre-measured, which is another 50 grams of water, which now, thinking about this, I will put it down here. You should be seeing that. It's somewhere down here. I don't know. Somewhere in the corner. And also 50 grams of whole wheat flour. Okay? 100% whole wheat flour. Again, I'll put the amount down here, but it's 50 grams. Okay? So 50 grams water, 50 grams of wheat flour, and you should, if you remember yesterday, we should have 100 grams of starter. All right, so the whole wheat flour I'm using is, again, King Arthur whole wheat flour. It's good stuff. It's what I've always used. Water, tap water, unless your tap water is not drinkable. Nobody told me how to say that word. Somebody tell me how to say that word. But it's this word right here. You should see it. It should be right on my face. But if your water isn't drinkable, then use a bottled water, or use bottled water. Okay, so one thing I do want to note is make sure when you're measuring out your flour and your water, you are using a scale. So 50 grams water, 50 grams of flour. There's my note. I told you, now don't forget. All right, so the actual mixing, what you want to do is put your water in your bowl first. So 50 grams of water goes in. Don't worry, no cowbell today. I learned my lesson. Okay, and right after that, you are going to put get all this out of the way, you are going to put your starter from yesterday right into that bowl of water, okay? After doing that, just mix it around a little bit. At this point, it's not really gonna mix well, but try to soften it up a little bit, mix it as well as you can. And once you have that mixed together, you are going to dump your 50 milligrams of whole wheat flour in. Now, the reason we're dumping the flour in after the water is because the water is going to start to soak up some of that wheat, and it's going to start mixing. Something you want to try to avoid is getting flour in the air. The reason for that is just like if you drink too much milk, eat too many eggs, too much of anything is not good. And you could develop allergies. There are a lot of bakers that do develop allergies to flour once they've been doing it a really long time. I don't have to worry about that yet, but someday I might. So just a note for you. And just like yesterday, we are gonna mix all of that together. I usually try to soak up all the water first before I actually try to mix it in with that starter from yesterday. All right, that looks pretty good. I can show you what that looks like. So what we're noticing, it still is pretty solid, but you'll notice there's a significant difference in the stickiness of this starter compared to yesterday, right? You can see how it still is definitely sticking, but instead of just all coming off in one big gloop, it's kind of stretching a little bit, and that's because it's starting to form gluten. Your yeast is starting to do what it's supposed to do, okay? The gluten is what's gonna hold that dough together eventually and help it to rise and stay together instead of rising and then just falling once you cook it. So that's day 2. Now that we have a little more starter, we're gonna graduate up from a normal glass to a real glass, okay? And that's just because we very well could get some rise out of this dough tonight, or this starter tonight, and I don't want it to rise out of this small glass, okay? So we're going to take our starter, put it right in that glass, okay? Like I said yesterday, I like to flatten it out, try to clean off the sides of the glass. But you can definitely see, I mean, we have 100 grams more of product than we did yesterday, so it's gonna be a little taller. There are 2 things I like to do at this point. One is wet a paper towel, quick, and then just clean off the edge of the glass, just so that you have a fighting chance of being able to wash this glass tomorrow without too much difficulty. And the last step, just like yesterday, we're going to dampen, wet, whatever you want to say, our dish rag, clean dish rag, and cover up our starter. And we are going to leave that sit. I learned my lesson yesterday. We're gonna keep it in the frame to end the shot, but this is our starter from day 2, and I will check back with you tomorrow. Thanks for coming back. See you tomorrow. So we are back a little bit later. Our sourdough has been sitting for a little while. It's just been probably about 10-15 minutes. And I wanted to do a little bonus reel today. I wanted to talk about a couple things. One being subscribers, comments, and likes on these pages. So at first, this YouTube channel is gonna be pretty tough to get going, but I would like to stick with it. So I would appreciate if all of you could subscribe to this channel. If you want to get notifications, there's going to be a little bell next to the subscribe button. You can click that. You'll get notified every time I make a new video. Along with that, if you could like this video. If you haven't seen the first one, make sure you go back and watch that. I guess you're only going to subscribe once, but like that one too. I'd really appreciate it. It does go a long way. It helps me to know people are watching these, and I'll keep making them if you're watching them. The other thing is, if you leave a comment with your favorite kind of bread to eat, whatever it is, banana bread, which arguably is more like cake, but banana bread, if you love banana bread, pumpkin bread, and maybe it's just like cinnamon swirl, whatever it may be, leave me a comment with your favorite kind of bread. The first, I want to say 20, but that's going to be tough to keep. The first 20 or so people that leave me a comment saying their favorite kind of bread to eat, whatever it may be, are going to get a free loaf of sourdough. Logistically, it might be challenging if you live far away from Wisconsin, but we'll make it happen. I'll vacuum pack it and ship it to you, or we'll meet up at some point. But I'd really appreciate it. The other thing, and I know this is a big ask, but if you wouldn't mind sharing these videos, family, I'm sure that won't be a challenging thing to do, but like I said, I do want to get this going. I'd love to sell some bread at a farmer's market next year, and it would definitely go a long way if I was able to say, hey, check out my YouTube channel. So, sounds weird, but if you don't mind sharing this, whether it be on Facebook, share my link on Instagram, whatever it may be, I'd really appreciate it. The other thing I want to talk to you about is the reckless transitions counter. This is my way of making fun of myself. I have no problem making fun of myself, mostly in the sense that I have no idea how to edit video. I have no idea how to record video. I've never really done it. So when you see that reckless transition counter go up by 1, when you see it pop up in the corner down here, that means that I just had a reckless transition, which means that in the original recording of this video, I trailed off into no man's land and started talking about something completely random. And when I'm editing this after the fact to actually post it on YouTube, I had to cut that video, split it in half, and remove that entire random, just rambling of nothingness, okay? And then you'll see it come in, and I'll probably start it with like, or so, or anyways. And so that's how you're gonna know that there's a reckless transition. Bear with me at this point. I'd like to get rid of those reckless transitions at some point. I can't promise it's gonna be soon though. So bear with me. I do really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching these videos. Again, smash that like button. Make sure you leave me a comment if you want. Say hi. Love to get to know y'all, assuming it's not just like Facebook friends at this point. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't done that. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.